Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso at thewatchbox.com. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly, tmosso at thewatchbox.com for pricing. It's in the description below. Today, we're discussing a 2020 limited edition of 500 pieces for the U.S. market in stainless steel. This is the Grand Seiko GMT SBGM239 for Hodinkee. The watch is 39.5 millimeters in diameter, 14 millimeters thick, 46.8 millimeters from lug to lug, and if we do solid end links from end link to end link, it is 51 millimeters across the wrist with a 19 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Let's throw this watch on the wrist and get a sense of how this GMT wears. It's comfortable. It's nicely color keyed to my sleeve. You can see it's low enough, even though it's not an ultra thin watch. It's nicely sloped. A sleeve will run up over this if you want to wear it with a cuff. It's not broad across the wrist, and I would say, as is, you could probably wear it on a wrist as small as 14 centimeters. No, I would say 13.5 centimeters circumference. It really does feel like a smaller watch. Some watches have a characteristic of feeling larger than they are. This one feels more compact. Very comfortable, nicely balanced. The bracelet, stainless steel to match, Grand Seiko 3-link design. You can see staggered link size and staggered link alignment. We have polished flanks, satin hoods, and a lovely transitional bevel on the side of the links. This is a steel Grand Seiko bracelet, so we're using screws, not pins and sleeves to size, and you can see there are half links built into the bracelet for precise sizing. We have a single fold deploying clasp with twin trigger release, roll everything over. And this is sort of a heritage design for Grand Seiko, as they use the historic circa 1960 3180 case design, as it's known, a throwback and an homage to the original 1960 Grand Seiko watch. Now, what you can't obviously see here is that all of this is hand finished. In person, it's lustrous, mirrored, and flawless. What the Swiss would call black polish and limit to small parts of a hand finished movement. But what happens here at Grand Seiko is that a spinning tin plate serves as the foundation on which an artisan then builds this Zaratsu polish. A Zalitz machine with a spinning tin plate is used to create this mirrored surface. The tin plate is held directly against the surface to be milled, and it's only by artisanal hand-eye coordination and craft knowledge that this black polish, this mirrored surface, is laid down in optically smooth fashion without creating any asymmetries in size or detail. It takes about 3 years to learn this craft, so this is a hand-finished watch. The timepiece, of course, all about its dial as well as the case. The dial on Grand Seiko watch is equally hand-finished, and dial furniture on a Grand Seiko is one of the high points of the brand experience. You could see the frame for the date, the Grand Seiko logo, the hands as well as the indices, all finished on diamond-tipped micrometric milling tools. The indices themselves twinkle like cut gems as they are faceted and mirrored. You can see that there are razor-sharp mirrored facets on the edge of the hands at center with satination on the top. All of this is done manually, meaning artisans are assembling the dials, fashioning the dial furniture, and finishing the case, and that's before we get the watchmaker assembled and watchmaker hand-regulated movement into the discussion. About this dial, you have a different typeface and a subdued silver on blue font for the Hodinkee edition, and you can see that the blue is what they call Twilight blue. The idea is to evoke the color of the sky and the light at dusk. It is a dual-time watch, and the watch includes a adjustable local hour that allows you to set the time independently. Note the watch minutes, seconds, and second time zone not affected. I can jump the time and the date forward or backwards as I travel east or west, and if I want to adjust everything in sync, I pull the crown out. Now I engage hacking or stop seconds, and everything moves. Note I have a 12-hour hand and a 24-hour hand, and I can set them separately. Inside the case, as I mentioned, there is a watchmaker-built movement. This is caliber 9R66. 35 joules, 6-position adjustment, guaranteed to run no worse than +5, -3 seconds a day, which is important because remember, COSC is +6, -4 seconds per 24 hours, so this goes above and beyond. Automatic winding, it has a 3-day power reserve, a 28.8 beat rate, and of course the 12/24 dual time capability and the stop seconds function. It is a workman-like finish, but remember, it's the regulation by hand that defines this movement. Grand Seiko regulating it by hand to run better than a Swiss chronometer, and I should mention, a fully integrated manufacturer. Grand Seiko and Seiko writ large, making everything from the sapphire to the pivot jewels to the shock protection springs. They even make their own lubricants. All of this in a case that's 30 meters water resistant, so it's more a sporty watch than a no-hold-barred sports watch, but a glorious, handsome, universally wearable, beautifully handmade, and rare edition of Grand Seiko's watchmaking art. Reach out to Tim Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.